Well, hello, it's Marceline, the Worthless. And yep, you saw the thumbnail, read the title, or no, Polish? Next character I'm going to be talking about in my series covering the 302 Termina cast of characters is Kagura, the Vile. And yeah, if you know anything about him, yeah, he is one vile motherfucker. I was actually considering Levi, Karien, or Olivia to be the next character, since the last one I talked about was August, a non-playable character, and with non-playable characters, there's not so much to talk about. However, Kagura is a special case. In my opinion, he stands out the most compared to the other characters. Like, I genuinely believe Marina and Samiri are the most complex characters out of the main cast, but Kagura, that motherfucker is center stage and wants the fullest attention. While everyone is confused like, what was the moon dude? What was that dream? What's happening? This man in a fine white suit is like, out of my way, bitches. Before we look closer at Kagura the Vile, heads up. The Fair and Hunter series is known to have very dark themes and topics. If that's not your cup of tea, please don't watch the video. This one in particular will be really edgy and really fucked up. That's not a joke. You have been warned. Please be careful and proceed with caution. With that said, unzip your pants, take out your rusty pipe, and get ready to shove it down someone's throat. That's what we call a joke. A really fucked up joke that also foreshadows the topic at hand. If you know what I'm referencing, by all please forgive me. Psst, check out my other character studies I've done. I've made one for August and Marina. I have a playlist. But, you know, first watch this one, yeah? Thank you. Kagura is one of the 14 passengers who take part in the festival held in Medieval. Importantly, he is a non-playable character. This means he has no backstory. We don't know what life he had before the events of the festival. Plus, he has no ending B. I mention this because the playable characters have two personalities. For example, if you choose to play as Marina, you can somewhat choose what her personality is like. However, if you play as someone else, then Marina the NPC will have her own personality. Kagura is non-playable. So until he becomes playable, we will never know his point of view. However, there are two characters who have some knowledge of Kagura, Karien and Marco. Remember, since we don't have primary data from the man himself, we have to use secondary data, which is bias. To be honest, I trust the feminist and the thug more than the mobster. Let's start with the loudmouth, independent woman feminist herself, Karien. Side note, I love her so much. Okay. To actually learn about Kagura from Karien, it requires a really niche thing to happen. Number 1, you must witness Kagura murdering the heroin-addicted child soldier, Levi. Number 2, examine Levi's corpse. Number 3, when Karien enters the scene, you tell her that man from the train killed him. If you don't do this exactly, you will never learn about Kagura from Karien. That's something I love about the Fair and Hunter games. So many little yet missable encounters. It's why making these types of videos is hell on earth. For real, thank you, no commentary. You're the best. Anywho, what do we learn from Karien? She actually has a little history with Kagura. She won't go into detail because she's a strong, independent woman. Hashtag feminist. If you ask what he had against the heroin-addicted child soldier, she explains that motherfucker is insane, but then she claims that she knows his type. He's a man who's broken. If he had any good traits, it's gone by now. It makes you wonder how she knew him personally. Then, she arguably makes a statement that is a reflection to those who want more power in the series. Kagura is proud. So proud he believes he's flawless. A perfect being. Kind of like another character we know of. In addition, you can press Karien for more information about Kagura. She explains that he's a well-known mobster from Vatican City, the same city that Marina went to study and where Samiri was abused as a child. When you ask what to do about him, she'll be like, kill him! Kill him! He's a human waste! No one will miss him! Savage! But she's not wrong. You will soon discover that Kagura is a really bad person. Like, that guy. He's a... That's all we get from Karien. She clearly had a history with Kagura, but she isn't willing to spill the beans. Then we have Marco, who recognizes him. He knows for sure that he's a captain of a rival mafia family. It confirms that Kagura is a mobster, with Karien's information, and Marco's one. He's a mobster. Hell, Marco even remembers Kagura's nickname, Count Dragul. For a second I was going to say Count Dracula. There's more stuff that happens between Makro and Kagura, but more on that later. And that's really it. That's all we know from other characters. However, we can still learn more from his appearance. He looks much older than the main cast, and he wears a fine white suit. So from the get-go, we can tell that this guy is balling with money. Makes you wonder if he becomes playable if he starts with a shit ton of money. That's all we really have when it comes to information about the guy. Who is he exactly? From the other characters who know of him, he's a piece of shit. A vile human waste that needs to be put down, like a rabid dog. Yet, maybe he's just a broken man. Maybe due to living within the Mafia family, he could never have a normal life. He must have done so many horrible things to the point that he's desensitized by it all. He reminds me a lot of Tony Soprano from The Sopranos, and the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Tony Soprano is a gangster who tries to change, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't. He falls and falls deeper, destroying people's lives, killing his own family, and being a disgusting animal. The Mountain from Game of Thrones is a killing machine, merciless, and he's very cruel. Yet he's always drinking milk for the poppy, a painkiller that makes you in a high state. It kind of implies he's always in a state of agony, and that's why he's drinking the milk of the poppy so much. It's sad because even evil characters have qualities in them that make you feel a little bad for them. It makes them more than just an evil character. However, mark my words. Sure, feel bad for them if that's what you want to do, but Tony, the Mountain, and Kagura are vile people. The actions they do are still evil. They are evil. You should not show them mercy. Speaking of actions, let's talk about Kagura's role in Termina. Something I really love in Fear and 102 is how every character's screen time is really memorable despite how some characters only have a few of them, or how easily missable they are. And this all comes down to how great the game is written. Kagura, in my opinion, is the best example of this. Not only is his events missable, but he only has a few of them, yet his impact to the story is huge! It's why a lot of people in the community like his inclusion in the story. He stirs shit up! So, let's go over his events in Termina. At the very start of the game, if you play as Marco, you can see Kagura sitting down in the train. When you approach him, Marco recognizes him, a captain of a rival mafia family. Maybe he wants to kill you. You may interact with him, question him, and try to make small talk, but he gets angry and storms off. He even shoves Marina. How dare you, cunt! So this little interaction tells us a lot about Kagura. You could see this as him being an asshole, which is very valid indeed. However, in my opinion, this little moment shows us he's actually scared. He just saw the dream from the moon god. He wakes up and sees a boy that is a rival to his own mafia family. Is this some ploy to get him killed? What the fuck is happening? So, he acts tough. I love this a lot because we human beings cope in different ways. Sometimes when we're scared and we don't know what to do, we act tough as a shield. Knowing from Karien that he is a broken man in the mafia, a sign of weakness could get you killed. A small interaction has so much weight to it. I love it. Next, if you sleep in a bed in the mayor's manor or the library as Marco, Kagura will ambush you. He wants to have a little chat. From the get-go, he wants to know who put the hit on him. He assumes Marco was sent by someone to gut him. He even questions if Marco is a man, because he wouldn't attack him in front of everyone in the train. Fucking pussy. Wussy. I love this dialogue a lot, because there's a stigma in the mafia to be a man. Men don't cry. Men are tough. Men put food on the table. So Kagura using such language made sense. It also shows you the hypocrisy of the mafia too. Look at this man right now. He ambushes Marco in his sleep, all alone. Not in front of the others by the train. No way for Marco to even defend himself. Such a manly thing to do. Fucking pussy. Plus, it makes you wonder, what is it to be a man? What is a man? Moving on, you have dialogue options to choose from. Almost save me, there's so many! Worry not, I'll break it all down for you. This encounter is similar to the encounter with the gentleman. If you choose your words wisely, he will let you live. If you choose the wrong dialogue, you will fight. Unless you wanna fight, lmao? The situation is this. Kagura thinks that Marco has been sent to kill him. The truth is that Marco wants out of the mafia. Marco could either act tough and say it is, but he could also explain to Kagura that that's not the case. However, due to Kagura's insecurities, he doesn't believe him. Bullshit! Liar! I know the truth, and... Yeah, those words. Side note, yeah, this game uses slurs, and to be honest, coming from a piece of shit like Kagura, he would definitely use slurs. I appreciate Myro for including it. A lot of devs are cowards today, and they will never even do that. Monsters would totally use slurs, and in my opinion, slurs has a place in art expression. Myro is a based dev, absolutely based. The whole situation shows us how much Kagura needs to be in control. He needs to know why Mato is here. Threaten him, call him names, and if we can know the truth, if he doesn't know for sure, kill him, kill him, kill him. A dead person can't hurt you. That's the encounter he has with Mato. Technically, I have to mention sort of that Mato being spared by Kagura is one of the acts of mercy he shows in the game. Like, it's actually a redeeming aspect of his character. I mean, obviously after verbally abusing Mato and threatening him, he eventually shows him mercy. Even when he does something good, he's still a fucking cunt. Jesus. Oh yeah, there's also the time when he moved his arse so you can pick up the map. I guess that's also counts as a good deed. Okay, this next one is really serious. You know it's serious because I'm saying serious and not cereal. I'm gonna be straight to the point with this one. If you play as Arabella and you sleep in the mayor's manor, Kagura will attempt to rape her. There's a really uncomfortable scene of Kagura being half naked playing with his genitals before he goes for Arabella. It's all animated by the way. So Arabella pushes him off and the fight begins. Unlike the encounter with Mato, you can't talk your way out of it. It's a fight to the death. You cannot run away. You can try to talk your way out of it, but doing so just further displays Kagura's intent to rape Arabella. If you lose to Kagura, there is no aftermath scene. You are taken back to the main menu screen. Also, in the fight itself, you can target Kagura's penis and destroy it. It's very satisfying to do. This scene is incredibly uncomfortable. When this event happened to me by chance, I didn't know it was a thing, and I witnessed it, I vomited. This scene alone displays Kagura as the monster he is, and it's also a great way to display the horror that women have to deal with every time they leave their homes, the fear of being sexually abused by men. So in the first game, there were enemies that you would encounter that would force themselves onto the player. There were animations too. A lot of people, including myself, stated that yes, this is horrible, and it somewhat adds to the horror, but it felt distasteful and was a bit too edgy. Now, just to be clear, we weren't getting triggered or offended or demanded these scenes to be removed or Myro was a bad person for doing this. No. If you want to include such scenes, no matter how horrific they are, as someone who's pro free speech and pro art, they should be allowed in the art pieces. The issue was Myro's intentions were to make them scary. However, the end result came out to be more comedic, way too edgy, and the fear that was meant to happen wasn't really happening. They show too much, the expression, too much when less is more. In my opinion, the greatest tool that puts fear into you is your mind. Fear of what is going to happen. When you know or see it, well, the fear goes away. Myro, being base, took this criticism to heart. In Fear 102, the horrors are implied. There is no visible rape scene. Kagura doesn't tell you what he wants to do. That is the fear. Since there's no aftermath scene, who knows what he would have done to Arabella? That is scary. That is horror. The unknown is the greatest horror, and we don't need to see it. And if I can be really honest, the rape scenes in the first game were done poorly. It felt way too edgy. And even as someone who likes edgy stuff, it's edgy, sure, but there is no horror in them. So I'm glad that Myro improved. This scene in the second game is way more uncomfortable and way more horrifying, and it definitely treats the sensitive subject matter with more respect. That's my take on it anyway. A criticism I do have is that it's only a woman that deals with this horror. In the first game, the male characters would also be subjected to sexual abuse. Yes, in the real world, men do get raped. I don't know if Myro plans to include a male variation of this sort of horror. I only mention this because society likes to laugh when it happens to men, and that's not okay. Men do experience sexual abuse. It's just as horrifying. Now, I have to talk about the other side of the coin here. Kagura is a monster, so do we really need this scene, right? We know he's a monster. We don't need more scenes of him being a monster, right? Well, in my opinion, we do. The fear of being raped is a legitimate fear, and Myro is a master when it comes to creating horror. This is his art expression. He is creating horror, and in my opinion, he's incredible at displaying it. I will defend this scene. This scene is important. Consider it a wake-up call. Lots and lots of mediums out there, they will pretend that this sort of thing doesn't happen. They'll brush it under the rug. You don't see this sort of thing. It's too edgy. It's too dark. and it just emphasizes my belief that, well, we need to protect games that cover this sort of subject matter. It's okay for games to go into dark themes. It's okay for games to be edgy, you know? So yes, in my opinion, this scene absolutely needs to be in the game. In addition, I am sick and tired of modern horror books, horror games, horror movies that only focus on psychopaths, murderers, jump scares. When guess what? Rape is a legitimate horror. It is a legitimate horror, and guess what? These games, these mediums, they don't even cover that. They're too afraid to cover that. Like to pretend it's not a thing. That's why I love the Fear and Hunted games. They explore these dark horrors, and that's what makes them so great. In the real world, this horror is a legitimate thing, and these games are expressing that. They're showing you those horrors. It's why they are uncomfortable. It's why it makes us scared. Like, in the first time in so long, the Fear and Hunted games make me feel scared, made me feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I will defend Myro's work till my grave, basically. I'm not saying you can't criticize it. Of course you can criticize it. I have my own criticisms of the games. But what I'm saying is, the horror that's in them, it's great. It's just great. It's dark, it's edgy, it's wonderful. We need more of it. Now, before we move on to the next Kagura event, someone will comment, because I know one person will comment this, what about Po? If you don't know, Po is a ghost that if it defeats you in battle, has an aftermath scene where it smashes the player's head, then starts fisting their rear, and it also laughs and moans. This too is a rape scene, and it's also really uncomfortable. This can happen to both male and female characters. I'm not too sure if the character is dead or alive when it happens, but regardless, it's still horrific to watch. Yet, in my opinion, it's not as impactful as the Kagura scene. Number one, it's a visible animation, so you can actually watch the whole thing happen, and it's silly and it's goofy. I'm sorry, but when you have like a chibi style animation, it's silly. In my opinion, like, it obviously is dark and edgy, but it's just silly to watch. Goofy in a way. Secondly, Po is a ghost, a creature, an outer world monster. To Po, humans are playthings, like pets or animals. They are beneath it. Kagura, however, is a human being. Yes, he also thinks less of others, is prideful, and a legitimate monster, yet he is one of us. That's what makes him scarier. He's not some out-of-this-world alien-like monster. We can relate to humans. Any one of us could fall like Kagura and do the unthinkable. That makes human beings more terrifying. Kagura was once a child like us. He was once someone with goals and dreams like us. Now, he is a monster. He takes what he pleases. He is Kagura the Vile. Okay, with that out of the way, let's carry on to the next event. From rape, he tries to kill a child soldier who's addicted to heroin, and a chef. Kagura is such a gentleman. Okay, oh god. Oh god. So Kagura has a thing for murder. Not towards the monsters that kill you, but other NPCs who want to get out of this nightmare. If you fail to stop him, aka kill him, he will murder Levi and Hendrik. With Levi, it's clear that Kagura hates him for being a soldier and a druggie. He calls Levi a mess. He states that by offering him, he's doing the world a favour. If you stay idle, Kagura will boast about his wealth and demand Levi to lick his boots. Well, that turned out well. It's clear by this interaction with Levi, he hates druggies, and due to Levi being a military, that means he has some authority. Soldiers are respected in society. Combined with those two together, you get an angry mobster. Someone with authority? And he's a druggie? He's better than me? Fuck no. His insecurities show. This is a little detail that goes unnoticed. Mobsters deal with drugs, yet they hate druggies. They want power all the time, meaning if there's a police officer or a soldier, it threatens their manhood. To Kagura, Levi is an ant that has some status that needs to go. He can't let some druggie make a mockery of him. Interestingly, other people will just ignore Levi. If he really makes you upset, just ignore him. But no. Men don't do that. Real men take action. Am I right? Then we have the chef, Hendrik. A civilian who stands up to Kagura. He calls him out for what he really is. Some asshole with money who's full of himself. You, the player, could idle, which the scumbag Kagura kills Hendrik from behind. Wow, what a man. Then he proceeds to threaten you. Mobsters do that. If there's a witness, they need to make sure they shut the fuck up. If you attack Kagura and save Hendrik, Hendrik will thank you and tells you what you did was a favour for everyone. He also knows about how vile Kagura is. If you kill Hendrik, Kagura isn't as thankful though. He actually is confused. Why did you help me? I don't know. This could have been a recruitment moment for Kagura if he becomes playable. Myro, please let that happen. Please make him a playable character. Please make him recruitable. Anywho, this further displays Mobster's mentality. Civilians are the ones that get hurt the most by mobsters. Again, mobsters think highly of themselves, especially when a civilian stands up to them. In their minds, that justifies smacking them around or even killing them. I want to end this section by quoting Karien herself. Being a broken human being combined with pride is a dangerous combination. To him, the moon god is giving him a free path to kill and rape as he pleases. There is no law, there is no police. Who will stop him? This is what makes humans scary, giving them true freedom. In addition, he is a mobster. Mobsters are the biggest hypocrites ever, and they have a mindset of being an alpha, the top dog. He only wants things to go his way. He'll make sure of that by any means necessary. He thinks he is above everyone, through money, status, clothing, but do we pity the man? We know he was once decent, and he fell deeper and deeper into despair, or perhaps he is beyond saving. Like Tony Soprano said, mobsters have two endings, in jail or they die. There is no happy ending for people like him, or if they're lucky enough, they hide away, growing old, and forgotten by everyone, losing what was so dear to them. Their empire turned to dust. Mobsters sounds very similar to monsters. It does make me wonder if he becomes playable, will he be more sympathetic, learning about his backstory? Maybe Myro will pull off a Tony Soprano. Who knows? In my opinion though, Kagura is beyond saving. He is a monster. He needs to be locked up or put down. There is no happy ending for him. He doesn't deserve a happy ending. I will forever say that my favourite aspect of Fear 102 is how each character has their own Moonscorch form. I know August and Pav do not have one, it's just a phrase, please don't at me. When the festival is coming to its end, or you touch the no-no door, the characters will turn into their Moonscorch form, their monster form. You could even say their true form. What's really cool about the Moonscorch forms is that they reflect the personality of the character. The best ones in my opinion are Sameri and Marina, because of course they're the best one. They're the best couple, don't at me. So, what is Kagura's Moonscorch form? It's called Monster. He doesn't even have a cool name! And it's a giant ballsack! He's just a nut! Okay, it's still a really cool design. Definitely vulgar as fuck. I also like how many arms he has, kind of like a insect design to it. Additionally, the monster lurks in the sewers and hides in the sewagery waters, poking his head out, then ambushes you. That detail reflects on Kagura himself. He's a low-life scum who harms others by ambushing them. Even in his monster form, his Moonscorch form, he remembers his past self and how he acts. Little details like this are amazing! Compared to the other Moonscorch forms, it's not that great, it's mid. However, for Kagura, it's perfect. Since Kagura is a non-playable character, he has no ending B. He gets no endings. However, he does have some outcomes. Let's cover them. He can be saved. Like the other 14 characters, if you manage to get ending A, you can save Kagura. In the final scene, he is sitting down in the train. The other outcomes is him getting killed. Whether he's fully clothed or half naked in his human form, or dying in his Moonscorch form. There's only really two ways for Kagura to go. He's saved, or he's dead. It does make you wonder what his ending B would be. Wow, I can't write a sentence. I'm going to kill myself. He could get a happy ending like Oliva and Marina. Maybe a depressing one like Dan. However, I think Kagura should have an ending that results in his death, or becoming insane. He does not deserve a happy ending. We know how much of a piece of shit Kagura is. He's a scumbag, he's a cunt, he's a vile, disgusting human waste. So we have to ask, do we even bother saving him? Is killing such a person the answer? This is definitely one of the more interesting dilemmas in the game. Best one in my opinion is the one with Sumeri and Marina. Go watch the video to learn more. Anyway, you could kill him. To be honest, he totally deserves it. He's a killer, a rapist. For the events of the game, he was a scumbag. The right thing to do would be to take him to the police. But that isn't even an option. Even the police and Prineval are fucked up. You should do the deed yourself. He's a human waste after all. No one will miss him. What would it cost you? You lose nothing, right? You are serving justice. Well, actually, there is a cost. You're playing by his rules. His game. You have to find him. You have to go out of your way to kill him. Apart from one situation where Arabella has to defend herself, you have to take Kagura by surprise. You ambush him as he would ambush others. You kill as he does. You turn into a killer just like him. Now, before you get angry, he is a murderer, rapist, and you kill him to save others. There is a difference. My point is, do you stoop to his level of murder? Because in the end of the day, you do kill him. But there's a factor that we have to consider as well. The moon god, it doesn't care. You have to remember who brought everyone together into this fucked up town we call Prineval. That fucker wants all 14 characters to kill each other for its amusement. Wouldn't it be better to outsmart the moon god and save every soul you can? Deny the moon god's will? This reminds me of the Griffith situation from Berserk. Kagura and Griffith are evil. That's no denying that. They're both piece of shits, evil scumbags. However, the real evil are the god hands and the moon god. That should be your goal. They're the ones responsible for this. They're the one allowing Kagura and Griffith to be evil. They are enablers. But I mean, personally, you could just kill Kagura and save everyone else. Both is good. You know, kill the evil cunt and then, you know, flip off the moon god. Both is good. Something I found interesting is that quite a bit of the Fear 100 community hella love Kagura. They even consider him a top tier character. Why? I think I can explain. All the other characters are either morally grey, somewhat kind, or an anti-hero, which is fine by the way. Sumeri in my opinion is the best character in the game due to how complex her situation is. She's a very morally grey character. In my opinion, she's up there with James Sutherland from Silent Hill 2. For real, she's incredible. And from a character study point of view, like wow, there's so much to devour. For real, check out my Marina video. Sumeri has a huge part in it if you want to learn more. Then we have Kagura. He isn't confused like everyone at the start of the game. Nah, he walks off to the city. Plus, he takes the opportunities that the moon god gives him. And sure, other characters do get into some shenanigans, but that's way into the late game. And it's not really evil. It's more due to stress and it's accidental shit. Like, we have Pav, who is the closest character to Kagura. Kinda. He's an asshole, but damn, he's a sexy nationalist. For real though, what he does is for payback for what happened to his country. But you see, Pav is more justified in his actions because he saw the horrors that fell into his country. He wants payback. Kagura, he's just an evil motherfucker. And that's why people love Kagura. He makes the game more interesting. You have to worry about monsters, traps, and then a mobster. He keeps the player on their toes. And he's the only character from the get-go who commits to this battle royale, or just does only to the very last second where he feels like he has no choice. You have a fellow human being going around murdering others, wanting to rape. You cannot ignore him. Of course he's a piece of shit, a vile human being. He's a bad person. None of us like him in that way, but we like him for the role he plays in the game. It's hella memorable. To be honest, people wanted more characters to do evil shit. In my opinion, having more characters doing evil stuff lessens Kagura's impact in the game. Having one character who's deep into evil shit is okay by me. And don't forget, both Fear 100 1 and 2 are role-playing games, so if you want to be an evil motherfucker, well, you can be. To sum it up, Evil characters' ideas and groups and stories can be so much fun. For example, Warhammer 40k is filled with some fucked up shit, but that makes the experience so much fun. And it's kind of sad because mediums nowadays stay away from doing such a thing, and I don't know, in my opinion, the stuff I remember, it has the evil shit. It's edgy, it's dark. So that's another reason why I love the Fear and Hunger games. It's just so refreshing to play. It's genuinely a great horror game. It goes further than other stories. Hi, Marceline Walsh here, and this is my new documentary called What is a Man? That's a joke, by the way. Please don't piss your pants. It's a joke, it's a joke. One of the themes that is a huge part of Kagura's character is the idea of being a man. What is the ideal man? What does it mean to be a man? What is a man? According to Kagura, it's wealth, being a tough guy, not listening to others. He's anti-drugs, having authority, owning women, and so on. However, he's none of those things, and he's actually a hypocrite. Mobsters, they take drugs all the time. His wealth, it's dirty money. He didn't earn that shit. He has no authority, not really. He's so tough, right? A tough guy who ambushes others by surprise, who ambushes them when they're sleeping in bed. He clearly gets no women. It's clear that he has ideas of what men should be, but in practice, he's none of that. So, it brings up the question, what is a man? What is the ideal man? Well, Fear and Hunger also answers this. Men can be many things. They can be nice, charming, strong, assholes, sexy, trash, traditional, and so on. In my opinion, it's okay for men who want to get stronger, earn money, start a family, provide food on the table. There's no shame for men who want a traditional lifestyle. If that's what you want, and if that's what you want to achieve, then go for it. But I also believe men can be feminine. It's okay for men to express their thoughts and feelings. I think that's cool too. Like, for real, more men need to wear dresses, you know? Hold their hands and like get all mushy and emotional. That shit's okay. I love that shit. And men should be able to do that. My point is, men have different forms, and they just want to be happy. As long as they don't hurt anyone, that's all that matters. Get your extras! Get your extras! Here's some stuff I didn't know what to put in the video, so here you go. Kagura had an update in his character art. He used to look like a certain somebody. Anyway, I'm so happy Myro updated his look, because his old look was cartoony as fuck. His new look is nice. Myro is such a talented artist. And the fact is that Myro is just updating the game for free is just so cool. We need more devs like them in the video game industry. The name Kagura can be linked to ancient Rome. The name itself means little soldier's boot. It also suggests that this Roman named Kagura was a monster, which is a befitting name for Kagura, the mobster. When killed, Kagura drops a decrepit soul. Decrepit means broken down, rickety, or falling to pieces. Side note, I just love the words decrepit and rickety. What wonderful words. Anyway, it does reinforce what Karien said about Kagura being a broken man. Last and definitely not least, the way he talks is some of the most funniest shit ever. Myro's writing can be described as biblical. Motherfucker knows how to write. Seriously, it's really impressive. Then we have Kagura. Here is a small montage of how the monster talks. It's killing me! Okay, being a little serial, the way he talks does reflect on his character. It somewhat tells us that he's sort of an idiot, a dumbass. Like, he talks in this brutish, thuggish language. He's not the smartest person in the room, and it's a little detail I like. But he still talks funny though. It's still funny. Alas, the video is drawing to an end. Kagura is definitely a vile piece of shit, but he is so interesting, and a fun addition to the game. It's no wonder he is beloved by so many. So yeah, I definitely don't have to make an update video for him when he becomes playable. I don't know, I might make one massive update covering multiple characters. If you like that idea, let me know. Anywho, this was a really fun video to make. I do really want to make more videos covering the other characters. Most likely it will be Olivia, Levi, Karien, or maybe even Tanaka or Pav who's next, but we shall see. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about Kagura. But wait, this video isn't over. I want to give a massive shout out to JustSomeNoob, the artist who made the thumbnail for this video. They don't do comms often. Funny thing is, at first he wasn't going to do it, but then he went for it, and oh baby is it slick. The moon, Pav, the look of disgust from Kagura, the skulls, I love it! They totally deserve so much love and attention. Like for real, they're my top 3 favourite artists ever. And when it comes to fantasy stuff, the favourite artist. I feel so blessed they made the thumbnail. JSN is so talented. They do the naughty stuff, so you have been warned. So yeah, you totally need to check them out and support them on Patreon. Something I gotta say is that when it comes to variations, they are the king of that. Not only are there so many, but the quality is just so beautiful. So, please check them out. Do it. Go to their Patreon. Links in the description. Send JSN some love now. They deserve it. Do it. That's an order. Support JustSomeNoob now.